now to $1 million heist, a batch of checks stolen from the post office, and police say it was an inside job. Our crime specialist, Bridget Matter, live in West Miami-Dade with more on this. Bridget.
Louis, police say it was a postal worker that stole 451 U.S. Treasury checks while he was working here at this post office. Investigators say he shoved those checks in his shirt. 35-year-old Sylvester Bird, a U.S. Postal employee, is accused of taking U.S. Department of Treasury checks valued at $1 million. According to an arrest report, Bird concealed them in his shirt before leaving this post office off Northwest 72nd Avenue in Miami. Bird appeared before a judge after his arrest.
There was a whole tray of U.S. Treasury checks. He shoved those down his shirt, and then he said he wanted to go home.
During his appearance, he spoke directly to the judge.
I made a mistake. He didn't admit whatever was Your Honor. I didn't have it. Your Honor, he did admit to it.
Bird is facing grand theft and 451 counts of possession or fraudulent use of identification. His arrest comes after Local 10 reported last week rent checks disappeared from a drop box at Villa Fontana Apartments in South Miami. Police arrested a mail carrier, 31-year-old Javen Jolly, accused of stealing and cashing those checks. Investigators say this video shows him.
So when are y'all gonna learn that everything's on camera? I mean, it looks like it sounds like a quick lit, looks like a quick lit. See, either on camera or people gonna be watching you. So, you know, with the mail carrier, he took some treasury checks, you know, worth over $1 million. And you know, they turned him in. Stuffed the checks in his shirt, talking about he ready to go home. He just stupidness, man. This just damn right stupidness. And then this guy goes into a rental lockbox and steal rental checks and goes and cashes them. You on candid camera, clear as day. But then people, you know, people will say, man, don't talk about people like that, man. I mean, shit, I'm just reacting to what these people are doing. These people are making these decisions to do this type of stuff, knowing that they're going to be caught red-handed. Easily identifiable. That's why they have cameras on these ATMs and stuff like that, for these type of reasons. But obviously people just don't care. And this is broad daylight. Said, man, bump it, man. I want this money. Like, money's the motivation. Just chasing that money like this, it's gonna end you up in jail for a while. It's craziness, you know. And then, you know, just I mean, you know, my guy, man, I mean, you're working at the Postal Service. From my understanding, from having people who do work at the Postal Service, it's a good paying job. It has great benefits and stuff like that. But instead of you know, taking the money that you're getting, dollar cost averaging, getting yourself into some investments and other things, you said, man, bump it, man. I'm tired of working. I'm gonna just go ahead and, you know, bust this move. And I'm gonna take these treasury checks that are traceable and I'm gonna cash them out and just disappear. Got to be the stupidest decision ever. And then, you know, you're in front of the judge saying you made a mistake, man. That's a mistake that can cost you. Very, very costly mistake. You know, just don't make no sense.
6, the North Miami Beach police chief talking to CBS News Miami about a multi-agency operation that led to the arrest of a U.S. postal clerk. The clerk is accused of stealing more than $1 million worth of U.S. Treasury checks. And tonight, the chief says his department was part of the big bust. CBS News Miami's Peter Dench is your reporter at the U.S. Postal Service facility in West Miami-Dade with how the clerk was tracked down and arrested.
A new arrest report says postal agents saw the clerk hiding many of the checks inside his shirt, and that's when he was taken into custody. This was an operation involving agencies, including the U.S. Postal Inspection Service and North Miami Beach Police.
So you were caught putting them in your shirt, man. Again, man, you can work in certain positions, and what you got to realize is that eyes are going to be on you, especially when you're handling stuff like mail, And you're gonna see, checks that's gonna come through mail and stuff like that. And trust me, people are watching you, whether it's on camera or just in person. They're watching.
We're very proud of our officers. Our detectives, they work diligently with other agencies all the time.
North Miami Beach Police Chief Juan Pinillos speaks to us about his department's involvement with a multi-agency operation that led to the arrest of 35-year-old U.S. Postal Service clerk Sylvester Green Bird. He's accused of stealing 451 checks from this Postal Service facility on Northwest 72nd Avenue near the Miami airport.
Where were you going to cash 451 checks at? Where were you going to go and cash all these checks? The thing about people who go about busting checks and stuff like that is the mistake they make is that they go back to the same location to bust multiple checks. That's the mistake that they make. You have 451 checks. What the fuck were you going to do with those checks? Do you know 451 people that you could contact to go bust these checks for you or with you? Just stupid. Just downright stupid.
North Miami Beach Police say the checks total more than $2 million. 4 of their officers took part in the operation.
This type of large-scale operation was something that, we had all the confidence in the world that they were going to be successful at.
I made a mistake.
In court, Bird said he made a mistake, but a public defender warned him not to say anything.
Ain't no need of saying nothing now. You gotta wait till, your case and stuff like that. And that, bro, you don't have money for a lawyer. You got a public defender defending you, man. It's just like, this guy's looking at you like, man, you big dummy. And I'm about to charge you. You may get the public defender for free. Who knows, man? But, gosh, man, come on, man.
Charged with 451 counts of the fraudulent use or possession of personal identification and first-degree grand theft. A judge found probable cause for the charges and set bond at $50,000. An arrest report says the operation was launched after a report of an employee or employees stealing U.S. Treasury checks.
You would think that, people that are handling your mail are someone that's trustworthy, somebody that's going to handle your stuff with care, and, in reality, they're allegedly stealing your money.
The report said Bird was seen using an iPhone and may have been communicating with potential co-conspirators.
We believe that there's others that are involved in this case as well, not just one person.
Bird's arrest report did not mention the names of any potential co-conspirators. Federal authorities say this is an open investigation, and Bird right now is on a non-duty status. In West Miami-Dade, Peter Danch, CBS News, Miami.
Yeah, so of course they're not going to mention any co-conspirators because they don't want those people to, get spooked and get missing. But of course, if they are smart enough to watch the news, then they've seen that Bird has been arrested, and they know they may want to get low, and but at this point, it could be warrants for his his phones and stuff like that, because they noticed that, he was using his iPhone. So, of course, they're going to get a warrant for the iPhone and all his iMessage records or any other type of records, and see any communications going back and forth with other individuals, which could pull them onto this whole thing. So, of course, they know he's not a lone wolf in this whole thing. And this right here could be, one of those things that kind of bring down a whole ring of people who are involved in this type of stuff. So, that's typically how these type of things, really pop off. They get people in positions of where, like a mail clerk, and they're able to see the mail when it first comes in, and then they're tasked with getting the checks, and then once they get the checks, then they bring it back to the whole ring of people, and then they figure out ways to get those checks cashed and stuff like that. But this is it has to be like way bigger than just this story here, because you gotta think, man, in order to cash a check at any legit place, you have to present ID. The ID has to match with the name on the check. That means that you got to make, falsified identification in order to cash these checks. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that goes into it. It's a lot of, groundwork, a lot of hard work that goes into it. And, yeah, it's probably one of the stupidest things that you can do. Cause I haven't seen too many people who do it and are like successful for a long time doing it. And the thing is, man, if you are successful with doing it, that greed, that dopamine to want to do it continuously is what's going to get you caught up. It's not the fact that you get away with it a few times. No, you're going to continuously do it because you're going to fall in love with the fact that you got or was able to get all this money relatively quickly. And you're going to think, man, I can just keep doing this. I can just keep doing this. Not knowing that every time you do it, you bring yourself closer and closer to being caught. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, man, until more information comes out. But if you like my content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This is Justin Paul. Peace.